The autistic man yelps, causing the trap to activate. But the cop manages to get out of there just in time. In his anger, he starts beating up the autistic man, but is stopped by the doctor. He starts arguing with the doctor. The young girl says they should continue with their escape. The architect opens the next door and finds they have reached the shell of the cubicle structure. The cop asks them to make a rope out of their clothes and decides to climb down and look. But the young girl says he is too heavy and the rope might snap. The doctor hears this and volunteers to go down and look. They make a rope, and the doctor goes down to check by hanging from the rope. The shell was very steep. The doctor tries swinging by the rope to reach the other side. But suddenly the cubicle starts shaking due to some movement, causing the others to fall and lose their hold on the rope. But the cop runs and manages to catch the rope. As the doctor starts climbing, the cop holds his hand for her, and she grabs it. She feels relieved, but as she looks at the expression on his face, she starts to panic. Before she can do anything, he lets go of her hand, causing her to fall to her death. The cop lies to the others that she had slipped. They decide to rest for some time. While they are sleeping, the cop takes the young girl to another room and wakes her up. He tells her that they should look to escape while poisoning her against the other two men. He tries taking her to the next room forcibly, but the architect reaches in time and knocks the cop down. The cop accuses the other two men and the doctor of being spies, which arouses suspicion among them that he deliberately let go of her in the shell. They demand the remaining boot from him. He throws it at the architect and starts a fight with him. The cop then knocks down the architect and, in his anger, throws him into the room below them. The architect then starts laughing hysterically. Seeing this, the rest of them became confused. But when they enter the room below, they find the corpse of the escape artist. The architect continues laughing, saying that they have been going in circles. The cop starts to cry, thinking they are doomed. But the architect opens the same door that was opened by the escape artist and doesn't find any room but finds the edge. He tells the others that the room in which the escape artist had acid thrown on him was not to be found. Hearing this, the cop, in his frustration, threw away the last boot. The architect scolds him, but the cop says in despair that it wouldn't have saved them and they are trapped in the cubicle forever. The architect tells them the rooms have been shifting all the time, which explains why the cubicle was shaking. The young girl uses her mathematical skills and deciphers the exit based on the prime factors of the numbers found between doors rather than prime numbers. She tells them that the room which was calculated to be out of the cubicle was a bridge room, which would lead to the exit. But she says she couldn't factor the numbers without a calculator since they are very large numbers. Hearing one of the numbers, the autistic man instantly tells the number of prime factors in that number. They find out that he can calculate the prime factors in no time. The young girl gets the prime factors of the numbers written on the next room's door and tells them it is safe. The cop laughs and tells them there is only one way to find out and throws the architect into the room. The young girl finds out the prime factors of the next safe rooms through the autistic person, and they proceed with their escape. But when the cop tries to enter the room, the architect closes the door and asks the young girl to find the next safe room while he holds up the cop. They manage to find it and leave the room. The cop manages to follow them, but does not find the architect. While he demands to know where the architect is, the architect opens the door below, and the cop falls into the room. Seeing that he had become unconscious, the other three people continue with their escape. After going through a few rooms, the young girl notices a piece of glass on the floor, which turns out to be from her own glasses. She calculates that this room was the room next to the bridge room that would lead them to the exit. She tells the two men to get into the room. She laughs and tells the architect that this was the room where they were originally, and they should have never left the room in the first place. The room shifts, and it reaches the bridge room. They get into the bridge room. They then open the door, and a bright light is seen, indicating that it is the exit. The architect asks the young girl to leave with the autistic man, saying he wants to stay back and die as he feels guilty for the deaths of others who died in the cubicle. But the young girl tries convincing him. Just then, the cop comes from behind and stabs her with the lock of a door. Seeing this, the architect gets angry and starts a fight with the cop. The cop manages to stab the architect and proceeds towards the autistic man. But the architect pulls the cop and tells the autistic man to escape through the exit, and the cop dies when the room shifts. The architect too succumbs to his injuries. The story ends with the autistic man heading towards the exit.
If you like the video, then hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do follow us on Facebook and Instagram.